either this or this. And they're both like big decisions to make, you know? So for one, at 18 years old, having to pick a life-changing decision, that was very challenging. And you got one go, you got to perform for the entire crowd. I was singing a song in front of him, and then he was just like, เสียงแปลกดี After that, he's like, yeah, I think we can do something with you.
What do I think of when I first think of Pilidia? And it always takes me back to the first time that I ever heard your name.
Really?
The first time that I ever met. You know, the first time I ever heard your name, you know who it was? It was Kulod.
Kulod, singing teacher?
Yeah, Kulod, singing teacher.
จริงอ่ะ okay.
When your first song came out,
okay.
he said, and I was a student at his, and I must have been like, what, 12, 13 years of age at the time. And I remember him saying ว่าเนี่ยมีเพลงใหม่ออกมาแล้วคนเนี้ยร้องเพลงแบบแนว R&B ที่ร้องดีมาก
Wow.
And he never compliments, he hardly compliments people, you know.
I'm
Kulod.
flattered. From Kulod, Kulod.
Kulod is the, like, did you learn with him?
So after Matthew was the one who actually had lessons with him. I actually never knew him until before I went on The Masked Singer.
Right.
And then I went to see him to help plan out the songs that I was going to sing and like, you know, to rehearse before going on the show.
Right.
So that's how I got to know him. And he's an amazing vocal coach.
Amazing teacher.
Yeah, and I'm very flattered that,
he said that. Yeah.
This is new information.
Because he really likes like uniqueness of voices and stuff like that. And he's the kind of singing coach that would never tell you how to sing.
Yeah.
Right? He'll just want you to bring the best of your voice, you know?
Yeah.
And the second time, I went to watch Nopon Chamni at Lumpini Night Bazaar, and then you came up as a guest, right? And you were singing, and that's the first time I ever heard your song.
That was the first time I ever went on stage, and I had the biggest stage fright.
That was amazing, though.
I was so scared. Like, it was the very first time, 18 years old.
18? Were you still in high school?
Yeah, I think so. Either just finished high school or still in high school.
Okay.
Like last year, like senior year.
Okay. You know, like I really remember that period of you really coming on, like your song. And I just want to ask you about your voice a little bit, you know, like your voice, you that unique like sound that kind of that just naturally came. Like คือคนก็จะบอกว่าแบบ
เสียงมันขึ้นจมูก
มันขึ้นจมูก but but this is in no bad way 100% like because that's what made you like unique. That's the voice that people would when they hear they'll be like Lydia, you know. Was that something that was just naturally the way you wanted to sing?
I mean, I have to thank people on Tanarabasut, right? So I have to backtrack to how I actually got into singing. So I knew that I had a passion for it.
Yeah.
I went to do so many castings for it actually before
like auditions.
Auditions to, you know, like here's my tape, you know, you'd send in your like demo tape and all that. I did all of that actually. And then I guess I was lucky one day when I went into my label and then I met Pipon Tanalabasut, which was my producer for the first album and many albums to follow that. And I was singing a song in front of him and then he was just like, เสียงแปลกดี like you have a very nasally voice. So after that he's like, yeah, I think we can do something with you. So I mean, from that day on, he basically gave me the opportunity to basically be here every day. Like he got me into the studios, produced my music, and he did many albums after that. And he was the one who pointed out that, your voice is just very different.
Right. So did you always like know you had like a talent to sing?
I mean, I always liked to sing.
As a kid?
I didn't necessarily, as a kid.
Okay.
I mean, I didn't necessarily know that I was good at it or not, but I just knew that I liked it.
Okay.
I mean, since I was little, I would like to, I liked musical like instruments, you know, I would like to go on the piano. I'd want to learn about like all these different instruments. I like to dance. I like to sing. I like watching singing competitions.
Right.
So I knew that I had an interest in it.
Yeah.
I didn't know if I was particularly good at it or not, but I knew I liked it,
And then eventually you had your song and then that completely took off. And you already mentioned the fact that your life completely changed after that. Yeah, how was that period of being like a teenager and at the peak of, I mean, you were like at the peak of the industry in those like couple years at that time, right? And you were still quite young, right? And from a normal girl going to school, and all of a sudden that took off. Like, what was the transformation that you recall?
So I was 18 and so I mean, for one, it was a very difficult choice to pick between going to Northwestern University.
Right. Because that's every kid's dream.
Yeah, to get in there. I worked really hard to get in there. And then all of a sudden, like, it's either this or this. And they're both like big decisions to make, you know? So for one, at 18 years old, having to pick a life-changing decision, that was very challenging. So I ended up picking, of course, entertainment. And from then on, it was like just the challenge of how do you change from nobody knowing you to everybody knowing you where you're going or your song, and then you have to go up on stage and perform in front of like so many people from, you know, your life just being a normal person, not having to do all that, to going up on stage, performing at the best that you can, memorizing all the lyrics, you know, the moves that you have to do, how to talk to a crowd.
Right.
And, you know, it's just from school to work. And it was challenging. You had to learn about how do you receive income?
Right.
You know, you had to learn about all that as well.
Like how to manage it, right?
Yeah, how to manage it. How do you do your taxes? How do you talk to, like, say, when you have like a show that you have to do, how do you manage all the dancers?
That's your responsibility? Like you have to manage them?
Well, at the time I had a label, but they would look at the general picture, but then when you come down to the actual show, like, we were I was very hands-on with that as well. So doing that, going on tour, managing everything, I mean, it was fun, but it was like a very new thing for an 18-year-old to get into.
What is more important as an artist, the feeling you put into the song or hitting the notes correctly?
For me, it's both, because I'm a perfectionist.
You have to manage it, right?
Yeah.
Like, if you're going to say sorry, you have to say sorry like you mean it, you know? You can't say sorry like that, you know what I'm saying? It has to go together.
Exactly.
And the ones that make it are the ones that get that right, you know what I mean? Like, there's so many songs with good lyrics, but the melody is it just doesn't go with the lyrics or, you know, and a good song, everything has to, like, come together,
exactly.
right?
And that's very difficult too, you know? Like, for me as a performer and as a recording artist, it's totally different. Like, when you're in a recording studio, you have so many takes to perfect it.
Right.
To the right note, the right pitch, the right key, the right way. You know, like, it's you know, different thing than being on stage and you got one go, you gotta perform for the entire crowd, and you also have to get the notes right. ร้องเพี้ยนก็ไม่ได้ป่ะ คนด่า you know what I mean?
For sure.
But you also have to ร้องให้ถูก and also perform it well without, you know, like, making it look like, oh my God,
natural.
She's so, natural.
Make it natural.
I'm very pressured every single time I perform on stage because of expectations. And that's what makes it very difficult for me today as well. Like, there's so much expectation. Lydia ขึ้นเวที expectation มาละ like, I can't fuck this up. I gotta do this well, you know? Like, that's the pressure every time I go on stage. And that's why...
Till today.
Till today. And that's why you need so much preparation and rehearsals and all that to make you feel confident enough to go up and actually do it right and do it naturally and do it, like, you know, well.
Yeah, that's a really good point. So you're an artist yourself. You started as an artist. Who are your top 3 favorite artists that you listen to?
I like Rihanna.
Okay.
One, because she does the singing thing, and she also does the business thing, and she also is the mommy thing.
Okay. So you see some similarities
like,
there,
I see some similarities, and I think she's very talented in juggling all of that so successfully. So it's like, you know, all the different things in a person's life that, like, how do you do it so successfully? And it looks so, like, easy to her.
Okay.
And I like Ariana Grande. I think she's great. She's
great
small
voice.
like me.
Right.
And I think she has a great voice, great vocals, and she can. I've seen her on shows where she can imitate other singers.
Yeah.
And
The
I
Jimmy
think that's
Fallon,
really cool.
right?
Yeah. So and
like, who's your number one? Like, if you were to do your top 25 played all time or on your playlist right now, what song is it?
I would have to say Neo.
Oh, okay. He's coming to Thailand, right?
Yeah,
Shiba?
I'm gonna miss it. I'm gonna be gone. But I really like him because I feel like his style of music, I can see myself singing that, and I like his music, and I like that he makes music for other artists as well. He's made many hits as well.
Right. Who's someone that was like your mentor or someone you were, apart from the singers that have inspired you? You can say no to some of these questions so we can move on, by the way. Like, if you don't have a...
No, I mean, I can try to answer all of them. It might not be like the answer that you're expecting.
No.
But I mean, there are people I look up to and I have them as my inspiration in different parts of life.
Okay.
like I mean my parents for one like I see them how they came from a family that's super hardworking we weren't like well off to begin with they were all people who ก็ตั้งใจทำงานso I see their like ความพยายามแล้วก็ความตั้งใจมุ่งมั่น in their lives อะไรเงี้ย so I see them in how they lead their lives and how they put importance in family like they value that so that's two people in my life and I'd say this is going to be really random but I like พี่ปลา Iberry
okay
she's awesome she's super nice and she's beautiful as well and she's also very very talented she's เก่ง she has a passion for food and she knows how to cook she knows how to bake and then she made into an empire
right
so knowing her from the very beginning well I've read about her her career path as well I've known her since then as well I've like come into contact talked to her and stuff so I've seen her from starting with like an ice cream shop to now like having so many different restaurants and I feel like that's so inspirational like she has made a whole empire from her dream and her passion and I feel like she's an inspiration for the business part of life and like perseverance and just going for your dreams
yeah so it's Ibery and what else that
she does กับข้าวกับปลา Ibery มีโรงสีมี the เบิร์นบุษบา there's โอ้เยอะมากเลยเยอะมากๆเยอะมากๆTong Smith is also hers
Tong Smith
oh so yeah everything is hers
that's crazy
everything is hers and then I talked to her during COVID and I'm just like how do you manage this empire during COVID
right
and then she's just like ก็สู้อะand so she started looking for ways to do like delivery and all that she's smart man and she is like an inspiration like she just knows how to like manage everything and like yeah she's really smart and talented
so what is the best advice someone has given you
from พี่นิดอรพันธ์ this has been like the best advice that I have gotten for my life like in the past so when I first had Dylan he was the only child and I talked toพี่นิดand I was like I'm having Demi and her advice is so good for like the way that we live our lives today because she's like teach Dylan that he needs to love his sister how basically tell him that he's also responsible for this other human being coming into our lives. Like one, he's responsible for bathing her, for protecting her, for feeding her, for changing her diapers. So he feels empowered to actually take care of this other little human being. And instead of feeling jealous that the parents need to share love. And so I think that has been really good advice on how to lead life. And it's worked. Like Dylan has been very loving. He hasn't shown any signs of like jealousy or like I want to like hit my sister or my little brother because I'm just jealous of you. So not many people will actually give advice that's so like it's used and it's successful. And another thing that she also said to me was that it's something that ติดค้างคาใจมาตั้งแต่เด็กเหมือนกัน usually parents like my parents would be like ยอมน้อง just give the toy to the younger sibling because you're the oldest one you need to sacrifice that for the younger child the younger sibling and soพี่นิด was like don't do that and that's because the older child understands more knows more where the youngest one doesn't know as much so in making them sacrifice their toy or whatever it is for that reason that's the reason why they will feel like you don't love me you love this little one more like they don't understand that and it's unfair to them so I was brought up with this bomb like the Dunkin' Ducky I always แบบ
ต้องเสียสละให้น้อง
ให้น้องตลอดเวลาเอาของเล่นสมมติว่าไอเล่นของเล่นอยู่ right this is my toy and then Dunk comes up I wanna play my mom be like ให้น้องยอมให้น้องไป and to me I'm like why it's my toy I had it first เพราะว่าอยู่เป็นพี่คนโตต้องเสียสละให้น้อง I'm like why you know what I mean like you never understand that so that was one advice that Pinit gave me she's like okay you always put the oldest one like their needs and their wants first because they understand more they've been in the world longer and you can reason with them more so don't say ต้องยอมให้น้องตลอดเวลา that's not the right way to think so with those two things and with us raising Dylan to have like younger siblings. I think that has worked out really well, and the dynamic of our family is like it is today because of that advice that I received from her.
Yeah.
Like Pinit also said, if you're gonna give her a present, you should also have something for the other ones because they feel like, oh, it's not all about just this one, you know. So they feel like, oh, okay, I have a present too. คืออย่าลืมเด็กๆคนอื่นด้วย so it's been a really good way to kind of raise my family and my kids, and we haven't had problems with that.
Sure. That's really cool. If you weren't in entertainment and doing everything that you're doing today, like what sector do you think you would have been interested in doing?
So you know what? Sometimes I question what I would have been because I was almost going to go that direction.
Okay.
So I got accepted into Northwestern University in Chicago.
Okay.
Going for biological studies, like bioscience, I think it was called. So everything about biology and like science.
Right.
And then I was going to minor in business institutions.
No way. Okay.
Totally different path.
Okay.
I was about to go, but then before I went, we released my first single.
Okay.
วางแล้วชีวิตหกหลัก
Okay. Right.
And then it just stayed on the charts for 9 weeks.
Okay.
So, so we had like a whole meeting with the label, and they were saying like, this opportunity doesn't come for every person.
Yeah.
So you should take the opportunity while you can.
Right.
And so I chose to follow my career and my dream, and I mean my passion. And I said, I'll do this whole bio studies another time.
Right.
But I ended up never going back.
Okay.
I've been here since I was 18 and just doing entertainment since.
Okay. So if you got accepted, did you do IB? Or did
I
you
did
do,
IB
you did
as well.
IB?
I
Did
did
you do
IB
higher
diploma.
biology?
Yes, I did.
You did?
Higher biology. I
So
did
you
the
must
full
have-
IB diploma.
Okay. And so you must have been really pretty good at school, right?
I was a nerd.
Yeah, really?
You should go look at my pictures from high school and my pictures like afterwards. Like, who the hell is this person?
It's like different people.
Different people. So I mean, it had a different path, a different goal in life. Where I gotta get into an Ivy League school. I gotta get good grades. I gotta go to study in the States and get a good like job and all of that. That was like the goal when I was in school.
Right.
But then right after that, it was
One
just
song
one
changed
song,
your life.
totally different direction, different path. So big changes in life, and here I am still in entertainment.
Okay. Do you believe in fortune tellers?
I do. I mean, I do believe in it to a certain extent. I feel like ดวงอะส่วนหนึ่ง maybe it's only like 20%. คือ maybe like you have a base of like, okay, ดวงของ you is good for like this. Like let's say ดวงอยู่บอกว่าโอ๊ยเป็นมหาเศรษฐีเป็นคนที่ success มาก but then you actually just sit at home and not do anything, then it'll never happen, right? So it's also up to your doing to get there. But of course, like I do believe that okay, you're lucky or you're not lucky or whatever. I do keep in mind like these things, like the supernatural, and like feng shui I believe in. Like I believe in the flow of energy. If you have positive energy, then I think it's good for life, I guess.
Like now my TikTok is all like fucking,
What?
Like all like ดูดวง
really?
Like, it keeps on coming up like no I don't want to listen to it แบบขอฟังนิดนึงมันก็เยี่ยมแม่งถูกอีกแล้วกูไม่ฟังละ
หน่อยค่ะแล้วแต่หน่อย
Okay. What day of the week were you born?
Tuesday.
You know what? I had a feeling.
Why?
I had a feeling.
Why?
I swear to God, I had a
Why?
feeling.
What is it
because
about
I'm Tuesday.
Yeah?
Because I'm Tuesday. And I know what Tuesday people are like.
What are we like?
We're like, we don't stop thinking. We work and then we're really driven. Every time when we do something, we have to think left, right, back, forward. We have like serious drive problems. I had a feeling like when I looked at your stuff and I spoke to เป็ดใส่พี่ลิเดียทำงานตลอดเวลาคือแม้แต่ว่าเวลาอยู่กับลูกๆอย่างเงี้ยก็จะเอาคอมมานั่งพิมพ์นู่นนี่นั่นแต่ก็อยากอยู่ด้วยแต่อยากทำงานด้วย and I'm just like เฮ้ยเหมือนกูเลยต้องเกิดวันเดียวกับกูแน่ๆ and that's true. That's Tuesday. That's really weird.
I guess that's kind of true. They say Tuesday people are people who like they're warriors.
Right.
That's what they say. I forgot who I heard it from, but they say like Tuesday people are warriors and they like really just like go for it, you know?
Right.
So my mother is a Tuesday person. Matthew's also Tuesday.
Oh, is he?
Dylan is also Tuesday, and
okay.
I am also Tuesday.
Okay.
Yeah.
That's good. That's great. So Tuesday
All
family.
Tuesday family.
ระวังนะครับ ระวังนะครับ เด็กวันอังคารทั้งบ้านเลย
บ้าเลย
What childhood memory makes you smile?
Makes me smile.
Yeah.
I mean ถ้าคิดตอนนี้เลย like on the dot.
Yeah.
Because I was talking about toys and having to sacrifice it to Dunk or Ducky.
Yeah.
There was one time, I mean, thinking about it now makes me smile because Dunk was trying to steal my girly ส้นสูงของเด็กๆ
Oh no,
you know?
he's not gonna like this. He's not gonna like this.
คือมันมีรองเท้าส้นสูงแบบเด็ก you know แบบเด็กผู้หญิงที่แบบเป็นส้นสูงอ่ะ and I was wearing it first
Okay.
and then he was trying to like he's like little you know and he's like I want to wear those shoes now I remember to this day I think I was probably like 6 or like something like that or 7 or something and then I had to give my high heels to Dunk
Right.
and then he was running around with the high heels so at that time I was probably very angry but to this day when I like remember it it's pretty funny
Yeah.
but Dunk is totally straight Dunk is so straight like if you see him wearing high heels
no, he's not.
ไม่ใช่แน่นอน
What is the happiest moment in your life?
Wow, there's so many of those.
Okay.
I mean,
Yeah.
the happiest moment. I don't think there's one specific moment that I could name, but
Sure.
there are those many little moments in like every day that I would consider, you know, the things that make you happy in life. Like, I mean, there are so many of those moments that make you happy. You just don't know which one is the best one.
Right,
But
right.
I mean, recently I would say, you know, just those little moments where hanging out with my kids, before going to sleep or cuddling them to sleep,
Right.
like that's the ultimate happiness for me. Like it's simple and you don't have to, you know,
Yeah.
do much,
Right.
but it's like you're in the happiest moment you are.
Yeah.
And I think like my children are the purest source of positive energy. So whatever you do in a day, no matter how like tired or busy or like stressed out you are, if you can take a break and just go hang out with your children, like you know that's the purest form of happiness and positive energy recharge. So at the end of the day, that is it. Like there's no specific moment that I'm like, okay, this is the happiest
That's
moment.
amazing.
Yeah, you know, but there are those little moments in every single day that you can find. Yeah.
It's so weird, huh? Like I'm sure before, like when you were like getting up and getting your career all sorted out, like you would picture happiness being this, being that.
Yeah.
But when it comes to it, it all comes back to these little things.
Yeah, the
that
little things. Like, I mean, you realize the things in life that actually matter. Like, it's not about all the riches, how much money you make, how successful you are. You know, it's about the people who you actually share your life with. And I mean, yeah, of course, like money makes people happy. I mean,
sure.
yeah, you can do all these things you want to be able to spend and do all these like things, of course. But at the end of the day, when you actually have all of that, but you have nobody in your life that matter to you to share those things with, I think it doesn't really make you happy. So, I mean, you don't have to have all those things, but as long as you're happy with the people that are around you, that are like quality people, good people in your life, and the people that make you happy, I think that's the most important thing.
That's amazing. That's amazing. So I spoke to Pet, and she said that the Masked Singer was what like really helped you in the end. Like you were going through a stressful time, and the Masked Singer brought you back up, and it gave you like a new, what would you say, like a new S curve, I would say, that like ก็ไปต่อยอดได้เรื่อยๆ like and if you look back at it, obviously everyone have their high times, their low times, their high times, but something that like I really admire about you, you always manage to come back and get that high again. You know what I mean? You know what I'm
I think
saying?
it's luck.
It can't be luck because like there's so many people out there that they hit the peak and then you never hear about them again. You know, you're always like finding opportunities for yourself. You're always driving yourself. You're always thinking about new projects. Every time I ask Bet like, พี่เดียเป็นยังไง or I talk to Dunk because I see them quite a lot. It feels like you're constantly thinking of like new things and new ways.
I mean, I think you have to look at me as, well, I look at myself as a product.
Right.
So if you looked at yourself as a product,
Right.
this is a brand called Lydia.
Yeah.
Lydia started off at 18
Right.
as this R&B singer, new to the market. Cool, super cool, super different, unique sound. And then you add it for many years, the product becomes old. So you kind of, like any brand or any product in the market, there's always something to improve that product to make it up to the current times. You modify it, you rebrand it, you do things to it to make it current. So I feel like if you look at Lydia as a product, you constantly have to rebrand yourself. Lydia, when Lydia was 18, was one product. Lydia today, as I am today, is a totally evolved product. It's totally different. And each phase, each time in my life, it's changed. Like from getting married, that's a rebranding of Lydia. Having kids, that's another rebranding of Lydia.
Right. That's right.
But if you know the what's it called, like the structure of what Lydia is, then I think it's being true to the brand.
Right.
So for one, I know that I am a singer.
Right.
When I got married, when I had kids, I know I'm a mother. I know like what my passion is, what I have to do. So as long as you know what you are, who you are, what your branding is, then you can always evolve and rebrand yourself to be current.
That is really cool. That is really cool. That's really cool. I understand completely, but like just to look deep into that point that you were saying, like you've got to be really like neutral when you analyze yourself, you know, because with everything around you, you could easily have just taken the bias option and say, look, dude, I'm already cool. I'm already good. Other people have to change around me, but you're actually taking yourself and looking at yourself as a third person, which is something that has really helped you a lot, I must say, right?
I mean, usually it's not supposed to be you who do it, right? But because มันต้องทำอ่ะ because I don't have like a management or a label. Like ever since I left my label, it's been me, like basically marketing and branding and managing like everything in my life, right? So you have to be able to step out of it, take out the artist in you, and be the business part of you. So it's like two people in one person right now. And especially now that there's Matthew, there's me, there's the three kids. There's so much to do with this whole like, you know,
this
whole
ecosystem.
This ecosystem that I need to manage and do it so that it's true to who we are.
Like you mentioned, you do business. Okay, we've spoken about your entertainment side. So now you're an artist, you're a singer. You have your own YouTube channel. You have your product, which we spoke about, which is เป็นเหมือนที่มาสนาแต่ว่าไว้ที่ท้อง
ที่ท้องถูกต้อง
มาแปะ
บำรุงได้นะคะจะได้ไม่แตกลาย
ไม่แตกลายด้วยแล้วเท่านั้นไม่พอนะครับนี่ครับ
เซลส์แมนของแบรนด์คนใหม่นะคะ
อันนี้คือครีมนะครับครีมอันนี้คือทาตรงไหนนะ
ทาหน้าท้องเหมือนกันแล้วก็ทาตรงไหนที่มันจะเริ่มขยายตอนช่วงท้องที่รู้สึกว่าเดี๋ยวผิวจะแตกลายหมักเข้าไปเลยค่ะเขาบอกว่าส้นเท้าเวลาส้นเท้าแตกอ่ะ they say it's very good for it so if you want to use that for that purpose you can also do that
okay anyways the point is so you do all these businesses right
so this came for the phase when I started with Dylan, right? Like that's another change in my life, another rebranding kind of phase where, okay, what am I gonna do? Like I'm not, you know, that young singer and, you know, all that, like the teenage years, you know. So
but this must not have been easy.
This was not easy. Yeah, this was not easy. But
you can see from the product, to be honest, like this is a legit product pretty much,
legit.
Right?
It's been here for many years now.
Oh, how many years is this now?
I launched it since 2018 or 19.
Okay.
Like that,
What is the right word for the bra product?
The bra product? Okay, so maternity wear.
Okay.
So it's like bras, sleepwear, underwear. That's for mothers, like for when you're pregnant and for when you deliver the baby. So because you haven't had kids yet, you don't really know, like, you know, the whole craziness that goes around it, right? So one, the baby's out. How do you keep this thing alive? You know, you need to produce food for it, which comes from your body. That's the only thing they survive on, which is your milk. So you have to produce that. You also have to take care of yourself. You have to cook for the baby. You have to take care of the house. And what do you do with the whole, like, breastfeeding thing? That's a whole nother journey that a mother has to go through. So that's why the bras come in, because I mean, okay, going into detail, you wouldn't know, but basically, when you have to give milk to your baby, right? You have to whoop out your boob, right?
Yeah. It's just natural. This is completely natural.
Take out the boob.
Yeah, well, I'm just thinking, what face do I make? Well, how do I react to this? Okay, be mature. Okay.
So how do you do that?
Okay,
like a normal bra that a woman wears does not have that function.
Right.
You actually need to have a bra that can unclip itself. So there are bras that actually hold the pump so you don't have to hold it with two hands ยังไม่เข้าใจ
hold what with two hands hold the pump uses two hands
so basically เวลาปั๊มนมใช่ไหม so
I thought it was just that never mind I'm not even gonna say
ยังเป็นโลกใหม่อยู่ยังเป็นโลกใหม่
okay
คือมนุษย์แม่จะเข้าใจ so basically
okay for the listeners that understand
for the listeners that understand so when you have a baby you either breastfeed them you put them to your boob or you can feed them from the bottle with your milk right so in order to extract the milk out there's a pump or there's two pumps that you need to do. So you have to put it there and then pump out the milk and then put it in a bottle and then feed the baby. So these bras actually hold up these pumps so that you can go hands-free, wash dishes, change the diaper, watch
in the
TV.
Same bra.
Yeah.
Okay.
Go on your phone without holding it.
Okay.
So these bras hold the pumps for you.
Is there like a clip for the
basically, yeah. There's like a hole and then you clip it on.
Okay.
So we had to design these bras so that
เหมือนชูชีพอ่ะอย่างนั้นอ่ะที่แบบเหมือนชูชีพที่แบบ
คือมันก็ไม่ถึงชูชีพแต่ว่า มันก็จะเทิดทาไปหน่อยเนาะ it's like a bra มันก็เป็นเหมือนเสื้อใน
okay
so that's why like there's like the whole design factor to go in there ว่าแบบ how do you design it so that it's functional it's comfortable and you still feel beautiful wearing it and it's not a เสื้อชูชีพใหญ่ๆที่จะมาใส่เนาะ so like yeah it's like the whole it's a whole different world when you actually get into like having kids from the pregnancy to giving birth to the breastfeeding journey like it's crazy it's like the whole period of life where a woman goes through so many changes and you have to adapt to it so that's why this brand came along where I was going through like a crazy time basically and then I realized it's not there are no products like this in the market so that's why we designed research development for all these needs that a woman has to go through for being for motherhood basically
right and is it under the same brand or
under
is
the same brand
under the same brand
yeah so it's under the same
like
brand.
mother products
so it's
right?
like so it's all products for motherhood from pregnancy until breastfeeding journey
okay that's really cool
เดี๋ยวต้องกลับมาคุยกับอเล็กซ์ก่อนที่แบบว่าแต่งงานแล้วแล้วก็พอมีลูกแล้วต้องกลับมาทำอีกเทปหนึ่งแล้วก็ย้อนแบบ before and after like oh I understand what you're talking about
I get it เราก็จะณตอนนี้เราก็จะ represent พ่อที่ไม่รู้อีโหน่อีเหน่อะไรเลย
พี่แมทก็เป็นแบบนั้น
okay and you're your own boss you invest yourself and you have your own team you're sitting at the head of the table in meetings and everything is that the life that you have
I mean not all the time so I mean it's a learning curve as well because with this I had no experience running a business I don't know how to make any products so it came with the passion first and with the pain point and with the need for a product that helped me as a mother and so I couldn't find it on the market so I'm like let's just make it so I went through the whole process of research and development like trial and error and then started running the business and I mean I wouldn't say it's like smooth sailing it's definitely been through the ups and downs and everything and there's always like new things to learn about running a business how to promote it how to market it how to manage the stock how to do the accounting for it so I mean you got to learn every single thing and then after that you have a whole team to help you run it
so do you have any day offs
there's never a day off
okay yeah เข้าใจ
ไม่เคยมีวันหยุด
ใครที่บอกว่าอยากจะมีธุรกิจของตัวเอง have your own business so that you can have day offs anytime you could go dude
Never.
You have no day offs if you run your own stuff right
never sometimes I'm like maybe I should work at like an office ที่แบบมีเวลาเป็นแบบso
like a routine
so you have a routine sometimes I think about that too I'm like maybe life would be easier like that like you have to go to work from here and then you're done here and then you have 2 days off per week that's awesome you can actually do that but
I bet now you can hardly even find 1 or 2 days a week right
no
right
like it's there's no day as a holiday for me unless you book it ahead of time where you're gonna go on vacation but
that's
like for
way.
me I never switch off like even before I go to sleep like you gotta plan for the next day what you have to do for the children for work for the shows and whatever so
like do you ever get like anxiety because you think so much
oh yeah
you get anxiety it's not bad anxiety but like are you a light sleeper You know what I mean? Do you ever like wake up in the middle of the night and think about work and stuff like that?
All the time.
Yeah, right,
All
right,
the time.
right.
But that's the thing. That's something I need to kind of chill out on a bit, right? So that's how Matt and I are different.
Right.
I'm very like driven and always stressed out about work, always planning things, and I'm a perfectionist, right? So it's very like เป๊ะ but พี่แมท
I want to know this.
super chill.
Yeah.
Super chill. เดี๋ยว
Yeah.
ค่อยทำยังไม่ว่างขอดูรายการทีวีก่อน or like he's very chilled out. He's like, oh, I'm just gonna go hang out first. เดี๋ยวค่อย you know what I mean? So that's why it's like เหมือนสองขั้วพอมาเจอกัน then there's that balance in the middle. You know, sometimes
Opposites.
I'm like, sometimes I'm like, Matt, get this shit done now. Like you can't do it last minute. The client is fucking waiting for you right now. You know what I mean? And he'd be like, okay, you know, เดี๋ยวทำ Sometimes I nag him and he still does not do it. I'm like, Matt, do it now. You know what I mean? He's like, ทำไมต้องคอยจี้ I'm like, เพราะว่ามันไม่ได้แล้วมันสายแล้ว or something, you know, like so there's a balance between the two of us, you know. He gets me to calm down. Like sometimes like เดี๋ยวใจเย็นไปดูหนังหน่อยไปทำนู่นนี่นั่นหน่อยเดี๋ยวพาไปกินข้าว so he knows how to like หย่อนให้เราหย่อนเราก็ทำให้เขาช่วยตึงขึ้นมาหน่อย so that's why we balance each other out so that it's like okay you know so it complements each other he's like chilled I'm very like so yeah
But does he have a temper at all? I watched one scene in your documentary in the document and like you know when you like didn't tell him or something about the photo shoot and then I could see that he was actually quite like annoyed at
that was
like,
an actual like
that was real right
yeah that's real like we bicker like that like all the time all the time but it's never about anything like serious and he's usually pretty calm all the time but we bicker like all the time ก็จะเป็นอย่างนั้นอะที่เห็นแต่ว่าif he has like an actual temper ยากมากที่จะททำให้พี่แมทโกรธ but when he's pissed oh man
is it like
scary.
opposite like you just go back
ขอโทษพี่ you know what I mean like if he's angry then you like you don't
right
like คบกันมาตั้งตอนนี้แบบ18ปีหรือจะ20ปีแล้วเป็น with him like นับครั้งได้เลยที่เขาโกรธ maybe like once or twice that you ever see him like that emotional
he's super chilled
he's
like he's
super
just
chill.
like in his own world most of the time like he's just looking
he's very chill
you could see that he doesn't really like you know he doesn't like take too much you know which is a good thing good for him you know what I mean I wish
and it's like, good for me as well sometimes he's just like จะไปเครียดกับมันทำไม you know like he's like ปล่อยวาง you know and I'm just like okay
right
you know? and you follow that I guess it's a good thing for that but we do bicker all the time so that you know I think it's good to do that so that you know what is okay and what's not for each other and like and I think you know married couples always
that's what I was just gonna ask you like you said 18 years right like it's not really just about husband and wife if you could say like 18 years like what is the key to that long
being able to like stay for that
like 18 years like obviously you have to sacrifice you have to compromise but in your point of view like what do you think is something that like has kept you have a lovely family like you know you have a lovely family right
very happy I mean so I met Matt when I was 18 so you know how you said like จากชีวิตกันเป็นนักเรียนจนชีวิตทำงาน right so I went from high school to working and then meeting Matt right away. So it's from since that day until today that we've been together. And I think the most important thing is just that we understand each other and we ก็เป็นตัวของตัวเองอะ like you don't try to change the other person so much you know I feel like it's not natural I feel like if you're gonna be with somebody you gotta accept them for who they are and of course you know you'll make some changes to you know compromise but don't change them entirely you know to being a different person because that you can never maintain that you can't change who they are but you can change some part of their lifestyle or some part of like things they do to match with your rules you know what I mean or like what you're okay with so I mean I think it's understanding each other and it's also about communication like when you talk to each other about what's okay, what's not, what you like, what you don't like, and being straightforward and like you know, อย่าใช้อารมณ์มาก like don't use so much emotion that like มันไม่มีเหตุผล you know. So I think it's also been like that since the beginning until you know now that it helps with getting along with each other and like
That's cool. I think we got our teaser right there.
Really?
I'm just kidding. There's a lot of good quotes. I'm sure. I'll tell you for sure that there's a lot of like covered a lot of things. Are you proud of yourself? It doesn't mean that you're arrogant or you're cocky or anything like that, but like when you look back at all the things, because like, a lot of people are successful from opportunities that other people has given you, but like you said, like what we've talked about is that you've really like, you started this, you started your YouTube, like you're going there, you're doing this, you're balancing your business side, your family side, and when you look back, and you're only 37. That's what I didn't realize, to be honest.
ดูแก่เลย
No, ไม่ได้ดูแก่ but like เหมือนทำงานมาเยอะ you know what I mean?
อยู่
And
ทำงาน
like you're
มา
only
นาน
3 years older than us, right? And so like at 37, that's pretty crazy. Are you proud?
I mean, if you're asking about if you're proud, I mean, you have to recognize that, okay, this went well. But then don't hold on to that and be like arrogant about it, because it can be good and successful ไม่ตลอดไปอ่ะ I just feel like nothing is permanent. If you do well now, then that's just one thing, but then you got to move on to the next thing as well. Like, I mean, if you're proud about what you've done, yeah, I mean, it's good to be happy about it, but then don't be so like, like cocky about it, like yeah, I'm the best at this and that. Like nothing is permanent, and everything is always evolving and always changing. So it's, for me, I'm always like, okay, what's the next thing? What do I do next? How do I improve or do things better? Or like you can't always stay at the same space throughout your entire life.
Right.
So
Right. Okay. So just a couple of quick fire questions, just for fun, I think that's pretty much it at this point. Is there anything else you would like to talk about or like to promote or speak about or anything like that? As if
Yes,
we're super
there is.
yeah, was it?
เมื่อไหร่จะให้หลานไปเล่นที่แคมป์
Huh? Oh yeah. I owe you on this one.
I need to take the kids to go play.
Yeah.
Or
On
go
me.
learn.
On me.
เมื่อไหร่ต้องไปนะ
Anytime you want.
เมื่อไหร่อยู่ไป
Anytime.
ต้องไปwhen you're there
ไปทุกอาทิตย์อะ
จริงปะ
Yeah.
I'm always constantly trying to find things for the children to do.
Right, yeah.
And it has to be something that's like fun for them and also enjoyable for me, you know what I mean? So
yeah.
I feel like I can also enjoy that, going with them to see nature and all that. Sometimes, like playing games with them at home,
Yeah,
or like
right.
building
Take them
Legos
out.
with them. I just feel like it's good to go outdoors. So
It's good for
we'd
them.
love to go.
It's good for them. Thank you so much for bringing that. Thank you. Okay, so let's see which one. Stars or the moon?
Stars. ต้องตอบเร็วใช่ไหม
ตอบเร็ว or explain more if you want. What is your AC degree?
24.
You ever fight with P. Matt about that?
Yes, all the time.
Really?
All the time. ทุกวันนี้ทะเลาะกันตลอด
Okay, what is his?
He says, why do you always sleep in the cold? มันหนาวเกินไป
24 is cold?
Yeah. I actually would prefer it to be like more than that. Like อาจจะแบบ
24 is a compromise.
Yeah, 24
right?
is the compromise. Matt would
Okay.
want it to be like 26 or something. It's too hot. ไม่ไหว But Matt's
Okay.
like, I'm so cold. Fight about it all the time.
Okay. Cash or credit card?
Credit card.
Okay. How much cash do you have on you?
None.
You drove all this way with no cash?
I actually never have cash.
Really?
Like ไม่ค่อยมีตังค์
Okay.
Maybe like
Okay.
20 บาทin my
Okay.
bag.
So what if you go on the highway and your Easy Pass doesn't work? What do you do?
ติดไว้ก่อน
Okay.
Or just transfer เดี๋
Okay.
ยวนี้มัน transfer ได้แล้วใช่ไหม
Yeah. Best thing about being famous?
You get free things.
Yeah. You get free things. You get a lot of free things, don't you?
Especially baby stuff.
Okay.
I never had to buy Demi any clothes.
Really? Even
Yeah.
till today?
Even till today. And that saved a lot of budget for raising one
Okay.
child, that's for sure.
Okay.
เสื้อผ้าเดมี่ไม่ได้ซื้อเลย
Okay.
ขอบพระคุณทุกคนที่สปอนเซอร์นะคะ
Okay. Who was your first celebrity crush?
Matthew Dean.
Oh my god. เราว่าเราจบตรงนั้นดีกว่าเราไม่กล้าถามต่อเลยจบอย่างดีเลย Okay.
But it's true though. Like he
yeah.
was an MTV VJ, and then I was like, oh, I watched
Yeah.
music videos.
Yeah, I saw his long
hair.
hair. It reminds me of how it was. Yeah. เมื่อก่อนผมยาวอย่างนั้นเลยนะ
ยาว
พี่
ใช่
แมทอะ
ใช่แต่ไม่สีทองนะ
พี่ลิเดีย thank you so much. I think that's about it. And it was
you
a
for having
pleasure.
me.
It was a real pleasure. Thank you so much for coming all this way. I know like I asked Bet to ask you if you'd be interested, and instantly you're like, yeah,
Sure, why not?
Yeah, thank you so much.
Thank
I
you for
owe
having
you.
me.
I owe you. I owe you.
No I don't owe
Thank you.
anything ส
Big
บาย
hug,
มาก
big hug. Thank you, thank you, thank you.
เดี๋ยวรอเฟซมีลูกนะคะ
ใช่
ส
ค
ป
รั
อบ นเซอร์นะคะ
ใช่ครับ ครับ ขอบคุณพี่ลีเดียครับ ขอบคุณมากครับ ขอบคุณมากครับ Talk to Talk นะครับ กดไลค์ กดแชร์ กด subscribe ด้วยนะครับ and thank you everyone for watching. If you have anything, just in the comments. I'm sure you guys love this episode for sure because of your honesty, because of your realism,
But
your
you know what? Like when I watch myself, sometimes I hate my voice. I hate listening to myself. Like why do I look like that and speak like that? I hate my voice. Just mute me.
Thank you, thank you. แล้วเจอกันเทปหน้าครับผม Thank you. Thank you so much.